Welcome back, guys. We're going to quickly go over 4 pairs you can see here in the watch list: USDJPY, USDCAD, CADJPY and cable. But we're also going to cover the dollar index. So before we do, make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel, because every single time we post out a video just like this, you're going to be the first people to be notified. So moving on, we're going to start talking about the dollar and where we think it's going to be heading. Right now, if we go out to the weekly time frame, you'll be able to see that we have been bullish the past couple of weeks. Now, towards the second half of the week, we started to see some resistance from the sellers. We have pushed price action back down, and now we are starting a new week. So the question is, will we start to see some sellers stepping back in the market, considering we've had quite a good bullish run up in the week of the 24th of May to the 31st, the 7th, the 14th. Then we started to see the sellers sort of trying to answer back for all the bullish momentum, weren't able to sustain any real significant bearish moves down, and then we started to see the buyers step back in the market and push up to the highs round about, let's call it the 93 handle. So now we are starting to see rejection from there, and if we go down to the lower time frames, you can see on the 4 hour we created that small double top, pushed down, didn't really make a significant new low. Now we've come back up to test these highs yet again, and then price action cut off for the market end on Friday at 10. So what we're going to be looking for, me personally, I do think that the dollar will be bearish this week, and that is going to play a massive factor in all the pairs listed in this watch list, apart from CADJPY, so to speak. But again, of course, it depends on what's happening with the yen, what's happening with the Canadian dollar, and that's going to have also an influence. It's not just all the dollar that's dictating the price moves. It has the majority share, but of course there have been many a times that you don't really pay attention to the second currency in the pair, or even the first currency in the pair, and that actually has a bigger effect. So moving on, that's what we're looking at for the dollar. You can see we've been moving hourly, sort of just moving side to side. We were moving in an uptrend, failed to get past these highs here. So now we're sort of just moving sideways. If we go back to the 4 hour, or maybe even the daily, we can get a picture here. You can see price action sort of getting squeezed in what could argued an ascending wedge ever so slightly, and we are getting squeezed to this high here, round about 93.391. So this, for me, is screaming all the signs that we are actually going to see a move downward. We're going to hopefully reject off this level, but again, if we don't, then we reassess. Then we see what happens once we've broken this high. Do we come back, retest, and confirm the break above, and then we will readjust what we're looking at for USDJPY, USDCAD, and so on. So let's go to USDJPY to start with. And again, if we go to the weekly, last week was a big bullish week, but with the dollar index looking rather bearish right now, we are considering having short positions back down to 109,200. So if we go down to the 4 hour, you'll be able to see that we are coming into an area of resistance. We did surpass it a little bit just on that Friday. Now we're coming into these highs here. So for me right now, I would be patient for the market open. I wait to see how the market settles, and I wait to see how it reacts. One, to this level, and two, how much volume is coming in the market. Is it just a tiny little break below, a small little pullback, or are we getting a significant break? We're coming in retesting, showing strong signals that we are back in control in a bearish fashion. It might even create a right shoulder to this half completed head and shoulders. You could have a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, and then a break and test to this neckline here, back down. Who knows? But what we are keeping an eye on, of course, is the dollar index, and if the dollar index does break above like what we've just discussed, then there is an opportunity for us to go long back up to 111 0.610. So again, it depends on what's going to be happening with the dollar index. That will obviously influence how we carry out these trades. So moving on to USD CAD. Again, looking very bearish. I do think we are going to hit in that zone somewhere in the region of 1.24500, where we've created this triple bottom before pushing up, created a double top, and now we're coming back down in a bearish fashion. Small little flag pattern back down into this area is what we are looking at for USD CAD. If we go down to the daily, you'll be able to see more of what we're looking at. This was sort of an outer trend line, and then we have married this up with a nice area of support that has been respected on the daily. So that's what we're looking at for USD CAD. If we go to CADJPY, again, CADJPY is looking very overextended. We have slowly started to come back into this trend line where we are printed this dragonfly doji, signaling that the buyers are firmly in control. This was on Friday, just 4 hours before the Friday close at 10 o'clock. We had that dragonfly doji. So if we go down to the early, you'll get to see a better understanding of what price action is doing. We're failing really to break above this area of resistance. Now we've hit off this area of support, and then we have this trend line. So we have all these things squeezing price action in, and I do think we might actually get a break to the downside for CADJPY. Again, it's a very oddly shaped, but we could have something in the form of a flag pattern going in to an area of resistance, which could be these previous highs here married in with this low. So we could have something like this, these bottoms here carried over, and then this is where we are seeing that double top. And then if we go down to the if we go up to the 4 hour, you'll be able to see that this matches up nicely. So now we are sort of trying to understand what's going to happen in the market open, how it's going to affect all of these areas of interest, the pennant going into an area of resistance, and then what is actually happening with the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen. But for me, short term, I do think that we are going to see some sellers step back into the market. I do think it's going to go just below the 87.200 handle. That is my analysis for CADJPY. And then we will reassess. We'll see, do we actually start to get some buyers coming back in the market from this initial push up to what would most likely be the highs here, where this double top formed. And then we will see, where do we actually come back to. And you can see the 0.38 Fibonacci retracement actually lands in this area of interest that we have drawn, where you'd seen massive areas of action every single time that the market seemed to touch this level. So moving on to the fourth and final pair, GBPUSD. Again, firmly bullish over the last couple of days, it seems, last week. And we do think that the market still has a little push up to go, just above the 1.3500 handle, just below the 1.39000 handle. So we do think that the market will come back round about the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level, and then start to make that next leg up, coinciding with the dollar index being weak. And if the dollar index is weak, it should, typically speaking, drive up this pair. We do think that it still has a little bit to come down just yet. We might actually find support at the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. So again, that's something that we're going to be monitoring. And then when we do eventually see that next swing up, we will be looking to take a buy position. So again, this is the four pairs that we want you to go away and have a think about, because it's much easier, and this is what we're going to start to do in our videos, is just give a handful, if not less, of analysis, so you could really break down the pairs, understand what's going on in those pairs, and not having your mind scattered over 5, 10, 12, 15 different pairs over different asset classes. So hope you enjoyed the video. Again, like and subscribe, because every single time we do post a video, you're going to be the first ones to be notified. So again, until we see you in the market recap on Wednesday at 7, we hope everybody has a profitable trading week, and we'll see you on Wednesday.